Hello, beautiful people. It's your girl, Sherry Belgian. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, you're welcome. If you're old, I appreciate you coming back. I watched a video yesterday and I got really emotional, and that is why actually I'm here today. I watched a video of a sister yesterday. Um, a sister and a lady and her sister-in-law in Belgium who went to the hospital for delivery and ended up being paralyzed in Belgium. I watched this from another YouTuber, and I'm going to be putting on the video here because justice needs to be served. Why does this video really speak to me particularly? Because I'm living abroad and I've had one or two experiences like this where we are being used as guinea pigs. Like, because they think we don't have anybody to speak for us, or we don't have a background, so they can just do whatever they want to do and get away with it. I've had an experience like that in the hospital, and my friend, a Ghanaian friend, had a same experience like that, though not to this degree. My Ghanaian friend came from Ghana to South Korea being pregnant, went to the hospital only to realize herself that she's just waking up after delivering. How did she deliver without knowing? No, they just gave her anesthesia, epidural, cut her open and took out the baby without her consent. She was like shocked. Why would you operate me? Why would you operate upon me without my consent? Why would you operate upon me without even taking any my consent? Where on earth is that even possible? If anything happened to her, there would have been nobody to stand there for her. That is why I say, if you're abroad, please, even if you're living alone, you want to go to the hospital, always try to hold somebody to go with you who can stand and maybe even utter some words that can help in one way or the other in situations where situations might arise. Like, seriously, this girl is bedridden, this girl is paralyzed now because of the faults of the doctors, and according to the video, nobody has even reached out to them to say sorry. Nobody has reached out to them to say sorry. Guys, please watch this video. Try to share this video. She needs the covering and the justice that she deserves it. She needs it. Let's not just sit. Like, we will continue to be used as guinea pigs all of our lives. Let's fight this by sharing. Let's share. One YouTuber already did this video. I'm doing it again. I'm putting up the video here for those of my followers that have not seen it, to see it more, to see it again, and maybe share it. Please share. Let's share this video and sensitize so they can have the covering that they need, because it's really sad to go to the hospital walking, but now you're bedridden. You cannot even poo by yourself. You cannot pee by yourself. You're on pampers and how do they call it, catheters or what? In short, it's a pitiful situation. Please, guys, watch the video. This is the video I'm putting on now. Watch it to the end. Listen to her keenly, and after that, share. She deserves some justice. And I'm going to be coming my next video next week, Tuesday. I'm going to be talking about my hospital experience here in South Korea. It's something to sit back and watch, because many people just run into abroad. They want to they fly abroad, they go to Obodo Yibo because they want to have babies or maybe have peppers and all of that. There's a lot that comes with it. Please watch this video, share this video, let this guy get a covering, and meet me next week with my hospital experience. All you need to know about hospitals and pregnancy here in Korea. Bye.
And this is Susan Ogbole, my sister-in-law. We're currently recording this video from AZ Saint-Anne, Bruges. It's a general hospital in Bruges in Belgium. In 2017, I came to visit a doctor in this hospital because I had, my husband and I wanted to have a family, and after checks, he said I had fibroids, and he would advise that I had a myomectomy. That's a surgery to take out the fibroids before we could begin to start trying to conceive. So we agreed, and in November of 2017, I went ahead and I had that surgery. Everything seemed okay. It was a laparoscopy, so I was cut open. He said it was better because of the locations of the fibroids, and everything seemed fine until we came back for a checkup, and he said he couldn't find my cervix. Asked us to come back a while later so he could put me under anesthesia and try to find the cervix, which we returned with my husband. And when I woke up, I saw I had 4 holes on my tummy, and I was wondering if it was the IUD, because he was supposed to put the IUD because he felt my cervix was blocked. He later came in to tell us that he couldn't find my cervix, and so he didn't perform the laparoscopy, and as such he was going to transfer me or refer me to KU Leuven to a professor in gynecology, which was one of the best to recreate my cervix. We went to KU Leuven, and the professor told me that for the purpose of a pregnancy, a cervix has never been recreated, and he hopes for my sake that there was a little hole in which my period will be able to flow out. And so we waited. So he performed some investigations, did ultrasounds and all to see if he could see my cervix, but he couldn't, and so he ushered my husband and I back into his office, and he said a cervix has never been successfully recreated for the purpose of a pregnancy. He explained to us that the cervix is a muscle which holds the weight of the baby until you're ready to push, and then the baby comes out, and also it protects the fetus from infection. He then told me that I could not get pregnant naturally or artificially because the connection between the vagina and the uterus was gone. It was at that point we realized the intensity of the situation. My husband and I then traveled to Nigeria and consulted another professor in gynecology and another fertility specialist, which all advised our best option was surrogacy. We came back to Belgium. After returning back to Belgium, we had an appointment with another professor in University of Ghent, who is a gynecologist but specializes in reconstructive surgeries. We saw him and he offered to perform a surgery, but it was going to be 20% chance of success, and by success he meant to recreate a hole and not for the purpose of getting pregnant. If that was successful, then we would start to try to conceive, which I agreed, and I had a laparoscopy again somewhere in August in 2018. After the laparoscopy, a catheter was put for 10 days, and then we went back, he removed the catheter, and then we came back 2 weeks later for an IUD to be inserted. I was put under anesthesia, and by the time I woke up, his assistant came to inform us that the surgery wasn't successful. He was still in surgery, so he couldn't see us himself, and so he gave us an appointment in 2 weeks to discuss what I wanted to do, as also my body absorbing back my period wasn't good for my health. It can lead into some complications like endometriosis or probably even cancer of the blood. And so we left, and when we came back, he offered to try one more surgery, but I wasn't so sure as my body was exhausted and I felt drained psychologically, physically, emotionally. After some thought, he told me to go and think about it and tell him what I wanted, and then we did, and then we came back and I decided to have another surgery, which was somewhat successful as I began to have my period, but after a while it stopped again and I only was spotting. And at the point I had to decide my life was more important than cutting myself and twisting the hand of fate because I wanted to get pregnant by all means. And so we started to research the process of surrogacy and what it took. We found out our best option was America, but then we couldn't afford it because it was expensive, between $150,000 to $200,000. And in Belgium, surrogacy is complicated. It's a gray zone, and hospitals make the law on who they should take as a surrogacy candidate and not. My sister-in-law here, who is Susan, was then coming to Belgium to study, and so she offered to be our surrogate. And because she was going to be, she was resident in Belgium, it was already easy for us, because for you to be a surrogate in Belgium, you had to be legally resident in Belgium. So when she came, again, we started to look for hospitals, but no hospital will take us. And we came back to AZ Senyan in Bruges, which my error was made. And after embryo creation and a week to the embryo being transferred in Susan, the hospital backed out and said they wouldn't be proceeding, and no reason was given. And so we decided to go back home to Nigeria to have an embryo transfer, like create IVF treatment and then an embryo transfer, which we did in the first week of February, and then we moved back to Belgium, and Susan gave birth to our beautiful baby girl, Imani Ogbole Spital, on the 15th of October this year, 2020, sorry. But listen to Susan's part of the story, it even gets messier.
Hi everyone, my name is Susan Ogbole. I had the baby on the 15th of October 2020. I opted for a cesarean, and I was told I have to take an epidural because I wanted the general anesthesia, and they said, oh no, in Belgium you have to take the epidural, which is safest. So I reluctantly obliged and I signed the consent form because I did not want any complication or anything to happen with the baby. So I went in to the theater and I was administered the epidural, but in the process of the epidural, I felt pain on the left side of my back, and I kept telling the doctor, oh, I feel pain, and she kept telling me, oh, just be calm, I'm trying to get the good spot, and she kept twisting. I don't know what she was twisting, whether it was the needle or there was something else attached to it, but it felt like a round device or something, and she kept twisting and twisting, and she kept telling me, oh, just be calm. And at some point she actually found the point she claimed she was looking for, and I didn't feel the pain anymore. So the surgery was carried out, it was successful, but after I got back into the ward, the following day I was told the epidural pump had to be removed. So they removed the pump, and at about 8 o'clock I was able to sit. Everything seemed normal, but my legs were having spasms. But I was told it would wear off. And then later that day in the evening, it all went south and I couldn't feel my legs anymore. A lot of doctors came. They had to look for a neurologist to come and check. She came and checked and said, I have to go for an MRI. I have had 4 MRIs already. The first 2, they said, oh, we didn't see anything. But the third one, they said, I had to have a lumbar puncture. And I was taken for a lumbar puncture, and they came and said they saw a bacteria, but they don't know what the bacteria is. One of them even suggested, oh, maybe it's a disease from Africa, maybe tuberculosis or malaria or cerebral meningitis. And they carried out all the tests and they didn't see anything in my system. So the question was, where did the bacteria come from? Was it in the process of administering the epidural, it entered my system as a result of them not scrubbing me very well? Or is it that the person who administered the epidural did not know her job? Or the instrument they used was not properly sterilized? And up till now, nobody has given me an answer. I have partial paralysis from my waist down. I can't poo on my own, I wear a diaper. I can't pee on my own, I have to use a catheter to take out the pee. It's been so difficult, and I asked for an apology from the anesthesiologist, and she said, oh, it's a complication, when we had a meeting with the team of doctors that were all involved in the process. So now I have decided that justice must be served. I need justice for this. I came into this hospital, I was on my feet. I was only pregnant, I only came to have a baby, I was never sick. They can check my medical records, I never reported sick during the process of the pregnancy. So I don't know what they are saying. They say it's a bacteria from where only God knows. And they know what happened. And the whole thing just was annoying because at some point I was told it was a third-year resident that administered the epidural. and her supervisor claims she just stood by the side and supervised her. So it's just so amazing how I was given to a resident to perform the procedure, and nobody seems to see anything wrong with the whole thing. And I just want to say I deserve justice, and justice must be served me. And AZ-SANTYAN in Bruges has done me dirty. I was supposed to go home to see my children on the 30th of November, and all to no avail because I'm sitting in a wheelchair. I can't go home, I can't see my family. So I need justice.
It is important to add that nobody has apologized to us. After the meeting we had with them 3 weeks ago or 4, the neurologists haven't even stopped by Suzanne's room. Like, it's just after we realized all this, they brought a rehabilitation doctor who is a black doctor. And for us, why? I feel they dragged him into this for damage control. And also, how can 2 family members of the same race have 2 rare complications in the same hospital? Was a resident also used during my surgery? These are questions. The hospital doesn't even want to apologize. We even said, okay, don't apologize. Let's sit and have a conversation. How do you make our lives easy? What happens to Suzanne's medical bills? Because we're looking for options. We're looking for solutions of where we can take Suzanne for treatment. You know, this has been difficult on the whole family. Suzanne's son turned 5 in November this month, and the daughter turns 3 next month in December. She was supposed to go home. How can they ruin 2 lives of 2 sisters and nobody is showing any remorse? Nobody feels like we deserve an apology. We feel it's, at first we thought it was subtle racism, but it's not even subtle. It's real glaring racism. Nobody even comes to us. They feel that maybe we're asking for too much. Yes, we deserve that. If we were a family member of one of these doctors, they would have gone above and beyond. Her file was supposed to be sent to UZ Ghent. We kept on pushing. It was sent after a week. We kept on asking them, have you referred? Have you consulted other doctors to find solutions? Have you done this? They say no. Can they do it? How can you ask a patient? I remembered with my case, I was referred immediately. Why are the nerve roots were damaged? If not, why haven't they seen a bacteria? They tried to blame it on malaria, on meningitis, on tuberculosis. We are just so lucky that Susan did not have a bit of malaria in her blood, because they would have held on to that. They also told us that it's a bacteria, and they don't know what the bacteria is. It's a bacteria that is not found in Caucasians or Europeans. It's a bacteria found in Africa. Is this not all racism? And why was a resident used to give her such a delicate and a complicated injection? Why? The neurologist, sorry, not the neurologist, the anesthesiologist said they will not apologize because they didn't do anything wrong. If they did it, in fact, they kept on saying they did everything perfectly. If everything was done perfectly, why is my sister-in-law on a chair? Why? We feel that this hospital deserves to be investigated. Everybody that has done us wrong deserves to be called to book. We deserve a trial. We will not let this go. We will fight it. Yes, we're Africans, we're Nigerians, but we did not come to Europe on a boat looking for a better life. We are both from educated family and comfortable homes. So they will not take us for a ride. Like, if they've done it to other people, they will not do it to us. We will fight this. We will fight this, and we will make sure the whole world knows of the injustice that was done to me and my sister-in-law.